Hi everyone, thanks for watching this video on driving lessons Cork.ie. Now, today we're just going to go through some of the reasons why driving tests are not conducted. The first reason why driving lessons may not be conducted when they should be is simply because people don't actually show up for their driving tests. Now, the reason for this, as to why a lot of people don't show up for their driving tests, has actually been well documented already. It's a loophole that exists where people just apply for the test every year to get a fresh learner permit every year, and they really have no intention of doing the driving tests. In recent times, it has been suggested that this factor accounts for 6 weeks, I beg your pardon, 6 weeks of lost productivity in driving tests in Ireland. Now, there are people in this country who want a driving test as soon as possible, so people not showing up really kind of puts a dent into these people's hopes of getting a driving test as soon as possible. So, folks, if you do schedule a driving test and you get your date for the test, do show up, do have a go at your driving test. You might be surprised and you might come out with a full driving license as a result. Secondly, the reason why some driving tests may not be conducted is to do with the fact that people show up at the wrong time. Now, if you show up early for your test, a couple of days early, or even a couple of hours early for your driving test, that's no problem, as long as you come back again at the right time. But what happens is people show up and it's actually too late. They're too late for the driving test. So when you get your date notification for your driving test, please do read it carefully and make sure you don't make that mistake of showing up late for your driving test. It happens a lot. And even though you might be actually thinking you're actually showing up on time for the driving test, if it was scheduled, let's say, at 4 o'clock, you're supposed to show up maybe 10 or 15 minutes early. If you're 5 minutes late, your test is unlikely to be conducted and you lose your fee. You'll have to reapply again, more than likely. Thirdly, people's driving tests are not conducted on the day of their driving test because their learner permit might be out of date. So please do check your learner permit to make sure it's in date. I have had cases whereby people have got a date for the driving test, let's say 15th of the month, and their learner permit was out, say, a couple of days beforehand. Now, the driving test service do not check whether your learner permit is in date or not. That's between you and the National Driving Licence Service, which is part of the Road Safety Authority, but it's not part of the driving test service. So really it's up to you to make sure that your learner permit is in date for the day of your driving test, and make sure it's all in order too. Another thing which might cause people's driving tests to be not conducted is that the brake lights aren't working in the car. Now, your left and right brake light at the back of your car has to be working. Also, sometimes the indicators are not working correctly. They might be flashing white rather than amber or orange. So make sure your indicators are flashing orange or amber. This is to kind of they must be flashing orange or amber to distinguish them from the other lights in the car. Also make sure that your discs on your window screen are up to date and current, that they're legible. Your insurance disc has to have a green strip on the side of it. All the discs on your windscreen, insurance disc, tax disc, and possibly your NCT disc if your car is greater than 4 years old, they have to be legible and up to date and current. Make sure the number off the number plate on the car matches exactly the number plate on the discs. If you have a car that's been repaired, it's simply not acceptable to take the disc from that car and put it into the disc holder on another car that you're using for the test to show that you're insured. The registration number of the car using the test then won't match the registration number on the disc, on your insurance disc on the car you're using in the test. So make sure everything is right in that regard. Make sure your tires are in good order. You can often be asked about your tires on the day of the test when the driving examiner comes out to your car with you. You must have, the tires must be pumped up to the correct pressure. There must be no visual defects in the tires, such as cuts, bulges, tears, or no bits of wire showing. And of course, your tread depth must be at least 1.6 millimeters minimum. Now, your L signs on the car, you must have 2 L signs in the car, one showing at the front of the car and one showing at the back of the car. If for some reason you arrive at the driving test center and for some reason you don't have 1 or 2 L signs in the car, if you saw a driving school in the vicinity of the driving test, just maybe quickly ask them, could you borrow their sign from the top of their car with the L signs on it? That probably would work on your car for the test, if you don't mind putting a driving school car sign on the top of your car. That's if you show up to the test center with no L signs at all on the car. Or else dash off to the local shop or petrol station and you might be able to get L signs there just before your test. But again, don't be late for your test. Also for your driving test, what might cause to be conducted or to be not conducted is if your car doors aren't operating correctly. Obviously, the tester will be getting in and out of the passenger door in the front of the car. You will be getting in and out of the door on the driver's side of the car, obviously. And you might have a driving test supervisor getting in and out of the back of the car. Now, the driving test supervisor may get in and out of the car. If they go out on your test with you and your tester, they may get in and out of the car from either the rear right door or the rear left door. So make sure the doors are working properly. Make sure your seat is in good order, that your seats are, the driver's seat and the passenger seat can be adjusted to suit who's ever sitting in those seats. Obviously, the tester will probably adjust the passenger seat when they sit in. You must have headrests on all the seats in the cars. If your car was designed with back headrests in the car, then you must have the headrests on the back seat in the car also. Make sure your windscreen does not have excessive cracks in the windscreen, and make sure that they're not unduly tinted too dark. And also make sure your mirrors are in good order as well. So folks, if you like the video, please do subscribe to our channel and like the video. Until next time, from drivinglessonscork.ie, that's all for the moment. Thank you.